now we are going to start with the questions. And some questions have come to me, and there are some questions that have been asked to me till now. Those also I'm going to start with those. So the first question is for Dr. Arvind. बहुत साल से मन में ग्रीफ है किसी के जाने का, और वो चीज मन से जा ही नहीं रही है, तो क्या इसकी ट्रीटमेंट अवेलेबल है? और उसी से जुड़ा हुआ एक क्वेश्चन है कि कभी कभी किसी के जाने के बाद गिल्टी लगता है कि मैंने ही कुछ किया या नहीं किया, और उसी की वजह से ये डेथ हुई है। तो क्या ये गिल्ट और ग्रीफ एक दूसरे से जुड़े हुए हैं?
यस, मैं ऐसे कहूंगा कि ये गिल्ट और ग्रीफ दोनों एक दूसरे से जरूर जुड़े हुए हैं। और अगर एम आई ऑडिबल, सुनाई दे रहा है सबको?
यस यस, यू आर ऑडिबल।
या अगर मैं ऐसे कहूंगा कि अगर ये जो ग्रीफ है ये बहुत सालों से चल रही है, तो इसके बारे में कुछ जरूर करना चाहिए। वी डू नीड टू डू समथिंग अबाउट इट, बिकॉज व्हाट हैपेंस इज, अगर ये बहुत सालों से चल रहा है तो वो ग्रीफ है, इट बिकम्स अ माल अडॉप्टिव पैटर्न, एंड उससे ऐसे दिखाई देता है कि शायद आप वो ग्रीफ से बाहर नहीं निकल पा रहे हो। इसके लिए मदद जरूर है, अवेलेबल है। मैं ऐसे सजेस्ट करूंगा कि मुझे पता नहीं कि ये सवाल जिन्होंने पूछा है वो कौन से सिटी में है, लेकिन आपके सिटी में जो साइकाट्रिस्ट है या काउंसलर्स है, उनसे बात करके इसके लिए हमें जरूर मदद मिल सकती है। और जैसे ही हमने देखा था कि वेरियस स्टेजेस ऑफ ग्रीफ, तो गिल्टी लगना कि शायद मैंने ये किया होता तो वो नहीं होता, सो इट इज ऑल्सो अ वे ऑफ एक्सप्रेसिंग योर ग्रीफ। सो अगर आप उस स्टेज पे हैं तो हम एज प्रोफेशनल्स आपको जरूर मदद कर सकते हैं। सो इन शॉर्ट, यस, इट इज absolutely normal to feel like this. The only problem from the question sounds that ये बहुत सालों से चल रहा है, लेकिन मदद अवेलेबल है, मदद आपको जरूर मिलेगी। Please reach out to the nearest professional and they will be able to help you out.
Yeah. Thank you so much. I request the panelists to switch on their own videos. I will start it from my end. Since we are live on YouTube it is looking, and those who are not the panelists are requested to switch off their videos.
Purnima, my video is not. Okay, thanks. I'll do it. Yeah.
So now this question is for Dr. Shivkumar Iyer. कि समझो हमने लिख के नहीं रखा है कहीं कि who is the surrogate decision maker, तो आईसीयू के डॉक्टर कैसे डिसाइड करते हैं कि किसकी राय लेनी है?
पूर्णिमा, सो इथे यहाँ पे जो प्रश्न है कि अगर कोई रिश्तेदार ना हो या लिख के रखा नहीं हो तो फिर क्या करना चाहिए? तो इसमें पहले तो हम डॉक्टर्स आपस में वार्तालाप करते हैं और हमारे बाकी कोलीग्स को कंसल्ट करते हैं, कोई फैमिली में डॉक्टर हो तो उसको कंसल्ट करते हैं, और सभी लोगों को कंसल्ट करने के बाद इसमें मेडिकल बेनिफिट होने वाला है क्या ट्रीटमेंट में, यानी ये ट्रीटमेंट देने से पेशेंट मीनिंगफुल लाइफ आईसीयू के बाहर जग सकेगा क्या नहीं, इसका डिसीजन होता है। और जो हम ट्रीटमेंट दे रहे हैं उसका कोई हार्म तो नहीं है ना, तो ये बेनिफिट और हार्म का जो बैलेंस है हम लोग खुद डिटरमिन करते हैं। और ये डिटरमिन करने के बाद फिर नेक्स्ट स्टेप रहता है कि पेशेंट ने कुछ लिख के रखा नहीं है तो अप्रोप्रिएट फैमिली में जो कोई सरोगेट होगा, यानी जो कोई फैमिली मेंबर होगा या फ्रेंड होगा, तो उससे हम वार्तालाप शुरू करते हैं। Does that answer the question, Purnima?
Can I answer?
Yes,
Can I
please.
Yeah, Roop, please go ahead.
Yeah. So worldwide, जैसे मैंने बोला, India is 40 years behind. Okay. So बाकी US के states में, for instance, ये sequence law में लिखा हुआ है कि अगर सबसे पहले कौन, फिर कौन, फिर कौन, फिर कौन, और उसमें जो स्टैंडर्ड लिस्ट है सबसे पहले टॉप पर अगर बाय चांस फॉर सम रीजन there is a legal process involved and the court has appointed a guardian, so that comes number one. Then the next is the spouse, husband, wife, and uske baad fir adult children, फिर उसके बाद adult siblings, parents, और उसके बाद the last is frankly I mean everywhere जो भी सामने है, in the sense, और हमारे इसमें तो सिस्टम तो ऐसे देखते हैं कि जो सामने है और जो बिल्स पे कर रहा है, ओके। लेकिन इंडिया में ये लीगली ये प्रोविजन बना नहीं है। इनफैक्ट यू विल बी सरप्राइज्ड, ऑर्गन डोनेशन के एक्ट में भी ये सीक्वेंस नहीं बना है। ये सब लिखे हुए हैं लेकिन सीक्वेंस नहीं बना है। सो इफ फॉर इंस्टेंस अगर वाइफ में और फादर या मदर में आर्ग्यूमेंट हो तो यू हैव नो वे ऑफ knowing ki who should be first. For the first time, the All India Institute of Medical Sciences has put out their own guidance document for the institute. But because public hospital hai, because it is a government body, and unke document mein, and if anybody wants to see it, unke document mein ye sequence ab ban gaya hai. So this is the first place in India, and this is barely 2 हफ्ते पहले की बात है। तो ये sequence अभी now एम्स के डॉक्यूमेंट में है, एंड आई प्रिज्यूम कि उन्होंने दिमाग लगा के ये बनाया है, तो द रेस्ट ऑफ अस विल फॉलो इट।
Dr. Pritikachari ma'am has made a comment on that the law says only father, mother, daughter, son can be designated. Brothers and sisters are not eligible, but you can make them surrogates. Is this true? Please confirm.
No, so surrogate, you can make anybody a surrogate.
So a close friend can also be a surrogate?
Absolutely.
And even a lawyer can be a surrogate.
See, ideally, you will not keep somebody as a surrogate who might have a conflict of interest. I mean, that makes sense. So, who do you choose as a surrogate? Ideally, आप किसी को choose करो, लेकिन आप उसके साथ discuss भी करो. अब for instance, अगर आपके spouse जैसे होता है, and the spouse says, मैं तो तुम्हारे को कभी छोड़ नहीं सकता हूँ, या कभी छोड़ नहीं सकती हूँ, जो भी होगा सेवा करूँगी. So that is not okay. Or then maybe you have a son who says, हाँ हाँ आपने लिख दिया है ना कि वेंटिलेटर बंद कर देना, जब भी टाइम आएगा मैं बंद कर डालूंगा, वो भी नहीं चलेगा. You want someone who is in between, who says कि हाँ मैं सुनूंगा आपको क्या चाहिए, मैं आपसे समझूंगा आपकी इच्छाएं क्या है, और जितना हो सके मैं आपकी इच्छा की पालन करूंगा. So you want somebody who accepts that responsibility. It does not need to be in anybody in the family. In fact, you have to make sure that that person will accept the responsibility, understand the responsibility, and be available to take it on.
तो ऐसी कोई व्यक्ति होनी चाहिए जिसके साथ इस बारे में ऑलरेडी बातें हो चुकी हो, दिल खोल के.
बहुत जरूरी.
Yeah. So firstly, we need to talk. Dr. Subhash Kale has mentioned this, and this is for Dr. Shivkumar Iyer sir. As Dr. Iyer mentioned that many times there is no captain of the ship in the ICU. I can say that this is many times correct. This causes difficulties, misunderstandings, and many times unwanted investigations and procedures. Can the ICU administration designate one physician, preferably the patient's own physician, not only to act as a link between the family and the intensivist, but also to be the overall doctor in charge?
So, Purnima, unfortunately, in our setup, there is no such patient's own physician. It's a disappearing breed. And कोई ऐसे फैमिली फिजिशियन या खुद का फिजिशियन ऐसे बहुत कम जगहों पे हमें प्राप्त होते हैं. तो फिर बहुत बार क्या हो जाता है कि प्राइमरी जिसके अंडर पेशेंट एडमिट होता है, फॉर एग्जांपल समझो पेशेंट को हेड इंजरी है और उसको सबड्यूरल हेमेटोमा यानी ब्रेन में ब्लीडिंग हुआ है, तो वो सर्जन के अंडर एडमिट हो जाता है. तो सर्जन का इतना कॉन्फ्लिक्ट, एब्सोल्यूट कॉन्फ्लिक्ट ऑफ इंटरेस्ट रहता है कि नहीं अभी ये हमने ऑपरेट किया है तो हम कैसे अभी डिसकंटिन्यू करेंगे, वो बचने नहीं वाला है. ही इज ऑलरेडी प्रोबेबली फॉर ऑल प्रैक्टिकल पर्पसेस ब्रेन डेड, फिर भी the surgeon will not be ready, and he is the primary physician in charge. So while I agree that there is need to have a captain of the ship, designating that captain of the ship, as Dr. Kale has said now, is extremely difficult. And of course, if the family decides that this person is going to be my captain, then it becomes easier for the treating team to have a dialogue and to establish consensus among the healthcare providers. That's why now that is always the first step, that healthcare providers mein consensus establish karna chahiye. And sometimes you have to bulldoze primary super specialists who sometimes may have a very big conflict of interest. And equally, I think intensivists also, who may have a conflict of interest in continuing care, which may not be of any benefit. So therefore, I think that patient education and advocacy for patients' rights and getting them to exercise their autonomy, patients and families. I think many of my doctor colleagues may disagree, but I think that is a necessary step.
Correct.
I will agree and disagree. So now the way I see it, for the world outside, आपको लगता है कि अगर किसी का एक्सेसिव ट्रीटमेंट हुआ है, कि चल ही रहा है ट्रीटमेंट जब जरूरी नहीं था, कि ये स्ट्रेट फॉरवर्ड कॉन्फ्लिक्ट ऑफ इंटरेस्ट है. एंड इन सम वेज इट इज ट्रू कि आईसीयू में पेशेंट को रख रहे हैं, बिल्स बढ़ते जा रहे हैं, लेकिन यहाँ जो डॉक्टर्स नहीं है उनको ये समझना चाहिए कि आईसीयू डॉक्टर एक्चुअली जो भी मेजर एक्सपेंसेस होते हैं वो पहले 4 या 5 दिन में खत्म हो जाते हैं, उसके बाद मीटर चलते रहता है. एंड ये डिसीजन इसलिए नहीं होता है क्योंकि डॉक्टरों को मालूम नहीं है ये कैसे करना है. It is a major lacuna in our education. I will be, and the problem is Shiva, you will agree on this. हम जब डॉक्टरों को बताते हैं कि सर जी आप ये जरा सीखने की कोशिश करो कि ये डिस्कशन कैसे होए, ये डिस्कशंस आप कैसे ओपन कर सकते हो, ये डिस्कशन इतना मुश्किल नहीं है, अगर आप नहीं कर सको तो एटलीस्ट जो कर सकते हैं उनको बुलाओ तो सही. They will not agree because they think that to some extent it is almost a black hole in the Indian medical education.
You're absolutely right.
ये मौत को कैसे हैंडल करा जाए?
Absolutely. And so there are both things. One is wanting to communicate, बात करना ठीक से, वो सिखाया नहीं जाता है, वो करने की क्षमता नहीं रहती. और दूसरी बात ऐसी है जिसे हम पैटर्नलिज्म कहते हैं. तो डॉक्टर्स सोचते हैं कि हमें कैसे चैलेंज कर सकते हैं. हाउ कैन समवन आस्क अस कि आप ऐसे डिसीजन कैसे ले रहे हो, कंटिन्यू करने का या डिसकंटिन्यू करने का आप कैसे सोच सकते हैं. हम बोलते हैं ना तो आप कंटिन्यू करो, या हम बोलते हैं ना आप डिसकंटिन्यू करो. तो दोनों बाजू से ये आता है. और पैटर्नलिज्म जो है दैट इज टू बी अवॉइडेड. एट द सेम टाइम जो वेस्ट में होता है, अनलिमिटेड एंड unrestrained autonomy, that also is to be avoided. So we have to find the middle path, or that middle path is called shared decision making. And like Roop said, it involves a lot of communication. You have to sit down, talk, have multiple meetings. And I have found that at the end of multiple meetings and good communication, there will rarely be conflict. So we have to make that effort to sit down and talk.
So क्या मैं कुछ बोल सकती हूँ?
हाँ प्लीज.
नहीं, मुझे ऐसा लगता है कि अगर अपने हॉस्पिटल में सोशल वर्कर्स है तो उनका यहीं पर यूज हो सकता है ना, कि उनको टाइम दिया जाए, वो पेशेंट के रिलेटिव्स के साथ डिस्कशन करेंगे और वो उन्हीं को समझाएंगे, फिर डॉक्टर्स और पेशेंट के रिलेटिव्स इनमें मीटिंग तय करेंगे और प्रोसेस आगे बढ़ते रहेगा.
Okay.
It is possible.
Yeah, so actually there is a specialty which is called palliative medicine. And this is something that needs to spread more widely. Palliative medicine का responsibility है, communication भी responsibility है, last week handle करना भी responsibility है. और for instance हिंदुजा हॉस्पिटल हमारे जो palliative consultants हैं, अब शिवा तो actually खुद ICU में बैठे बैठे he is becoming a palliative care physician. So but that's ideal. लेकिन हमारे यहाँ we have a palliative care physician who interacts with the intensivist, talks to the patients. And ये जो डिस्कशन है, आपने जो कहा कि सोशल वर्कर से करा जाना चाहिए, that is fair. The social worker is part of the team that handles this discussion. But hospitals have to invest in this social technology. This social technology is called palliative care. This social technology saves money. This social technology costs nothing.
And it is compassionate.
Yeah, but it has to happen, and it will happen only if patients and citizens say कि मुझे मांगता है. जब तक आप नहीं कहोगे तो ना तो गवर्नमेंट को पड़ी है, ना एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन, हॉस्पिटल एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन को पड़ी है, किसी को पड़ी नहीं.
और ये मैडम संध्या दुर्गे जी ने जो कहा कि सोशल वर्कर्स को इसमें ये करना चाहिए, एम्पावर करना चाहिए, तो ये एम्पावरमेंट का प्रोसेस जो है अनफॉर्चुनेटली अपने मेडिकल प्रोफेशन में जो डॉक्टर ट्रीट करता है ना, उसको गॉड जैसे माना जाता है, तो बाकियों को कोई उसमें स्थान ही नहीं रहता, which is something which has to change, and that again, like Ru pointed out now, can only come about through advocacy of patient rights and patients pushing this very hard. So we have to push this from our doctor's side, and we have to get advocacy. And like Roop has said now, palliative care is, yes, it is about having a palliative care physician, but it is also having the entire palliative care team, the palliative care nurse, the social worker, the psychologist, everything. And only then, we will be able to take appropriate decisions during end of life care.
आप अगर किसी का आप जो अटेंड कर रहे हैं सबको ये बताऊं कि आप लोग कितने पैलिएटिव, आप एमडी डॉक्टर्स को जानते हो, कार्डियोलॉजिस्ट को जानते हो, चेस्ट स्पेशलिस्ट को जानते हो, सब किस्म के स्पेशलिस्ट को जानते हो. आप कोई पैलिएटिव मेडिसिन स्पेशलिस्ट को जानते हो? जानने की कोशिश करो प्लीज. मेरे बात डॉक्टर पूर्णिमा और डॉक्टर शिवा तो है ही, लेकिन ट्राई एंड फाइंड पीपल अराउंड यू, see if this specialty can grow. We all need your support.
Definitely.
And this is the other thing. Can I just make one comment, small one? So he pointed out about the need to educate about communication. So there are, in palliative care, there is this thing called a palliative care curriculum, or a curriculum for undergraduate students, and it has been established and implemented in the West. So if we can have a palliative care curriculum for all doctors, and so therefore, the palliative care thinking is inculcated in medical thinking. So that would be social engineering. Of course, get social technology in by getting a palliative care physician and a team, but you do this social engineering by changing the way we look at treatment.
Correct.
या इसीलिए मुझे ऐसा लगता है कि अगर डॉक्टर खुद ही बोलते हैं कि पहले आप हमारे सोशल वर्कर से बात करिए,
बिल्कुल,
तो वो बहुत अच्छा होगा. मतलब डॉक्टर साइड से अगर आए तो,
लेकिन क्या होता है मैडम,
ज्यादा इंपॉर्टेंस मिलेगा.
हाँ बिल्कुल, और सोशल वर्कर्स को एम्पावर करना और उनको टीम में शामिल करना कि हम ऐसे सोच रहे हैं, ये ऐसे डिसीजन लिया है, मेडिकल रीजनिंग ऐसा है, फैमिली का ऐसा लुक है, इकोनॉमिक्स ऐसा है, तो कैसे हम हेल्प कर सकते हैं, कैसा हम आगे जाएं, तो उसमें सोशल वर्कर का बहुत बड़ा हाथ है और वो यूटिलाइज करना ही चाहिए.
Can I just mention one thing, Shiva, here?
Yes, sure.
Yeah, you said that the social workers need to know कि क्या डिसीजन लिया है. मैं उससे ही आगे जाके ये कहूंगा कि अगर उन्हें डिसीजन मेकिंग प्रोसेस में ही दिया जाए, so they don't feel alienated, and then there is that ownership कि ये मेरा डिसीजन है. It's not being imposed on me. So
yes, entirely agree.
Thank you.
Entirely agree with you.
Thank you very much.
Can I add one last point? And that is palliative care का जो training है, unlike say for instance, अब Shiva has trained as a intensivist, and that is a lot of procedures जो आपको सिखाने पड़ते हैं. Palliative care का जो training है is almost entirely, except for some parts, and Purnima has also undergone that, is almost entirely distance learning. So Madam Sandhya ji, if you are interested, taking on that training is something that you can do. You can actually start it tomorrow.
Yes.
Anybody who wants to get into this field, I strongly recommend that you look for these courses, and if anybody needs any assistance, help, whatever, I'm more than willing to help.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, Ru.
Yes. So few of observations that I have is that समाज में ऐसे समझ है कि palliative care मतलब कैंसर जब ट्रीटमेंट के बाहर हो जाता है तब palliative care, but palliative care is actually being concerned about all the symptoms that the patient has, that the person has, and taking care of all the small little things in that big diagnosis, so that the quality of life remains good till the last moment of life. So that is about palliative care. And as Dr. Roop has said, that good death, there is one thing called death and then there is another thing called good death. So we are all campaigning for being able to have a good death. Just like we want a good life, we also want a good death. So there was one more question here. I'll just see. Yeah, which I think Dr. Roop had answered. If a patient has verbally, but just for the sake of everybody else, if a patient has just verbally expressed a wish related to terminal care, which is different from how the relatives want the treating doctor to proceed, then how do we deal with it? सिर्फ verbally बोल के रखा था. So how do we deal with it?
We are stuck. We will be stuck. Because
Best
you
is
may
to
know
have
what
it
the
in
patient
document.
wanted, but if the relative is the person who's there. And
Yeah, correct.
I mean, it does happen that the family knows what the wishes were. Then comes the question of counseling them. That if you know what the wishes were, then your duties are to follow those wishes.
Correct.
But
And
may I say
personally
something?
find, sorry, yeah, both of you.
Done.
So sorry, I agree with Roop. Now, this is where the palliative care physician again comes in, because like all of us have our specialist procedures. The specialist procedure for a palliative care physician is the family meeting.
Yeah.
So like, neurologists will perform surgery. The neurologist may, do EEGs and do a wonderful history and examination. For the palliative care physician, it is being able to organize a family meeting in which, you have a disparate and different input coming in. So you've spoken once to the patient, once you've spoken to family members who don't agree. You may have spoken sometimes to consultants who don't agree. And then to be able to organize this family meeting where all these reactions can be amalgamated and sorted out and given a direction to. And many times, it may happen, like Roop pointed out, that you don't have direction immediately. And so the ability to say, okay, so we agree to disagree on these points. Why don't we go home, think about this, and then come back and decide what is to be done? So this kind of openness and ability to, help people to bring their innermost emotions and their feelings to meetings and express them fully, that itself is a cathartic process. And listening to 2-3 people and having expert input on that, it kind of creates the appropriate environment or atmosphere for consensus. And that consensus should always be aimed at.
So if I'll just add one little point here, and that we've always thought कि ये सब करने को बहुत वक्त लगता है. लेकिन मेरा पर्सनल एक्सपीरियंस एंड ये अभी एक्चुअली एम्स में डॉक्यूमेंट हुआ है, अगर आप सिस्टमैटिकली करो तो ये मेजर मीटिंग 15 मिनट में निपट जाए.
Very true. Yeah. Actually, good communication saves time rather than takes time.
Absolutely.
So yeah. Now there is one more question, which is actually a topic of a panel discussion in itself. This is from Dr. Rajalakshmi, who is all the way from Australia. She's attending this. Please comment on spiritual, religious, and cultural influence on end-of-life discussion in an Indian context. So, on the ground realities, whatever we face, can Dr. Shiv Kumar Iyer?
Okay. So,
yeah, because
so I would say now, currently, I mean, I'm sorry to be such a pessimist. I think spiritual, religious, cultural influences on end-of-life discussion are zero in India. And it's a bold statement to make, because I feel most of the times now, it is economic.
Yes.
It is economic most of the time, and it pertains to emotions as we experience them as human beings anywhere in the world. So the spiritual, religious, cultural context now is spoken about a lot. It can give us a lot of insights. But as to its actual impact on end of life discussion, I'm not certain. It's more in the West, because there you've got Indians who have read about their culture and then are aware of their religious. But in India, most of the time, I'm maybe mistaken, but most of the time it is that it is the economic and emotional things which predominate.
Yes.
So again, संध्या जी, ये जो पूरा एरिया है, इसमें जो काउंसलिंग लगता है, splits into 3 major components. This is for anybody who's interested. एक काउंसलिंग तो जो मैंने जो बोला लिविंग विल्स के बारे में, एडवांस केयर प्लानिंग के बारे में, वो एक फील्ड हो जाता है. दूसरा फील्ड होता है बेरीवमेंट, कि जब डेथ हो चुका है या ऑलमोस्ट हो रहा है, उसमें काउंसलिंग का बहुत मतलब है. और बीच में इन द वेस्ट दिस इज कॉल्ड पैस्टोरल काउंसलिंग, कि मुझे क्यों हुआ, मैं तो अच्छा इंसान था, ये ऐसे क्यों हो रहा है, ये मेरी पीड़ा क्या है. So that pastoral counseling, ये तीनों भी areas of counseling. Again, we are right now at the early stages of doing this, but I think in about a year's time we will be able to take these courses. So anybody who is interested from the counseling perspective in getting involved, then these are the 3 areas we will probably be able to open up.
I have a little observation to make, and everybody is welcome to give their input, that the caregiver's decisions are, yes, definitely economic driven. Secondly, they are guilt and shame driven also sometimes. They feel कि लोग क्या कहेंगे, मेरे बाकी के रिश्तेदार क्या सोचेंगे. Then they are also driven by misplaced compassion sometimes, like I told you about those 2 sons. तो नहीं मेरी माँ है, उसके लिए सब करना चाहिए. उसको क्या चाहिए था, they will not think in that whole urge of misplaced. So these are certain things which kind of drive, and unfortunately religious spiritual concerns the caregivers are not thinking. But as a counselor with a palliative streak in me, I have found that religious and spiritual statements as a counselor go a long way in placating the caregiver and negotiating through that maze of counseling, और उनको सही दिशा में लेके जाने के लिए, उनको calm down करने के लिए religious or spiritual statements are useful, and to activate that point in them कि आप इसके बारे में भी सोचो, that sometimes helps in the way we talk to them. That is my experience. So, Dr. Arvind, as a psychologist, would you want to highlight on this spiritual and?
I think most of the points have already been discussed, and I do agree with Shiva that in our setting, most of the decisions are based on the economy and the emotional state. If anyone can help me translate this in Hindi or English, अशी एक म्हण आहे की तत्वज्ञान उपाशी पोटी होत नाही.
Yes.
So when all your basic necessities are met, you tend to think more about spiritual, philosophical level. But yes, we will get there. Yeah. Surprisingly, in our culture, there is a very elaborate system of bereavement. There is an elaborate system that will guide us through bereavement. Because as after someone dies, we do observe a set pattern of bereavement, where in specified, ज्याला मराठीत आपण दिवस करणं म्हणतात, की 11वा दिवस, 13वा दिवस, आणि त्याच्या मागच्या धार्मिक भावना, it is associated with helping the family and the kin to move on from this life into afterlife, and telling them that the deceased one is moving smoothly through their destiny. So there has been a lot of good Marathi plays that do talk about this as well, and I distinctly remember a play called Hayavadan. It did talk beautifully about this. So we have thought about bereavement, but spirituality while making these decisions, I think we are still lacking there.
So, are there any questions? So, if there are no questions, I would like to say that we will be having a similar session after around 2 to 3 months, where we will change the topics a bit and could discuss a little different topics. But we will be talking about death definitely. In Unhide also, Unhide stands for heartbreaks and headaches, insights and insomnia. D we had thought was dreams and depression, but now we have realized it is also death and disability also. And E stands for epiphany and epilepsy. So we will be talking about death again, sometimes in a serious tone, sometimes in a lighter way, and it will always be a rational discussion. So I thank all of you, Dr. Shivkumar Iyer, Dr. Arvind Panchanadikar, Dr. Roop Gursani, Sandhya Durge ma'am, Saili and Anand for their lovely prayer, Akanksha for her lovely song, and now Priyadarshi for the last song which he is going to play for us. Over to you, Priyadarshi. Thank you everyone. And any questions, you can always keep on asking us. We want you to ask questions, and like Kerala, we would like that Maharashtra should also become a people-driven campaign for this whole issue. So it has to be people-driven. Thank you. And yes, over to you, Priyadarshi, you can play the song.
Thank you, ma'am.
कदम कदम बदलता हूँ यही, ये जिंदगी बदलती ही नहीं है लफ्जों की कमी। ये शाम कैसे रंग सी है, उड़ते उतरती पतंग सी है, मैं कल की बाहों में हूँ फंसा, ये वक्त भी मुझे भुला गया।
Thank you, Priyadarshi. That was a lovely song, and we wished we could have heard more. And thanks to the audience who came during the lockdown for such a topic. And we hope to be associated with more and more people henceforth. Thanks to all of you once again.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you, ma'am.
Bye.
Thank you.